It's Jacob and AJ. Jacob.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Denhoff podcast. Today, we are joined by our lovely guest, Kayli0n.
Hi.
Welcome.
What's up?
It's glad to have you on.
I was really excited for this today.
Yeah, we're excited too. I'm glad that it ended up working out. So, Kayli0n, tattoo artist, singer, songwriter, rapper, musician, all the above.
All genres. No genre unturned.
The
no genre unturned. I like
limitless potential, limitless genres, limitless mixtape.
The limitless mixtape.
Yeah. Well, welcome.
Wow, you guys are so cool. I'm honored.
So cool to be here with you.
Yeah, thanks for being on.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me. Shit, I've been looking forward to just hanging out with you two and you guys. I've seen you guys around. I like what you guys do.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
I see.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So let's get into it. We just made a song.
Yeah.
And so far it came out great.
Nice little vibe.
Yeah.
What's that house? What's that house? EDM?
Jacob was asking earlier. Jacob was checking out your music and just like listening. And Jacob told me yesterday, I think, Jacob's like, what if we try to do some house that you would listen to driving at night? You know?
Yeah.
I like that.
So that was the mentality going into it.
I like that.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was like listening to your music and I was like, this is really good, but her voice I feel would go really well on like a nice deep house track. And so that was just
I like the thought that you put into that. Yeah. Like, do you guys do that with the... Can I ask you questions too?
Yeah.
Do you guys do that with the other artists that you've made music with? Did you like premeditate a little bit? Like, what vibe are we on today?
For the last one that we made with people, last episode it was my cousin Javon, and he's a DJ, and he also was a drummer, and he's been in a lot of like rock bands. And recently he's just been doing a lot of like Latin music, a lot of like that Brazilian boom ba type of music,
yeah.
you know? And so that's kind of like the vibe that we came into. It's like,
more fire.
More fire. So that was kind of the vibe, and I was like, okay, this is and we had less time too. Like we were kind of on a time constraint.
Okay.
So I was like, let's like put some blinders on here. Like let's go for one of those like Brazilian house, whatever type of genre it is, and let's go for it. And before that, when we did the song with VY and Maddox, the Water song that we were playing earlier, that one actually didn't have any like premeditated like what we were gonna do. We were just kind of messing it around, and we kind of just let them direct it. Yeah. I think VY had some sort of like idea of kind of like what he wanted to do, and then Maddox came on and he did his part, and it came together really nicely. It came
together very, very nicely.
Yeah,
shout out to you.
I like when an artist
who was on that one.
Yeah, thank you.
That was a fun one. I like when an artist like has an idea of what they want to do, or sometimes when they don't, like Jacob will just come up with a prompt. And even if you're not directly involved in the production, like just you having a prompt like that of like, oh, it's a house song that you're listening to and it's dark out, and or sometimes you'll just sing something or have a drum idea, and it helps for me producing to have someone with ideas to kind of guide the process or like talk about where they want to go. You know,
that's dope. I like that you guys are like rotating ideas, like having artists who come up with their own thing, and if they don't, you are able to come up with something for them, you know, challenge them and stuff like that. That's cool.
Yeah, that's our little duo. That's how we work, because he's the production guy. I don't really like know how to use all of that stuff.
Better than one.
Yeah, I feel like I know, and he's told me this before, and it's kind of stuck with me, where it's like I know just enough to be able to like give that guidance, give some direction on like what we should do, and like, oh, maybe that is a little too complicated, maybe we got to make it a little more simple, or just stuff like that. So
yeah,
that's what I bring to the process.
I remember one time I'm working on a beat and I'm like, yeah, it's just there's something, and you were like, oh, the kick pattern is too busy, it's messing with the 808. And I was like, wait, yeah, that's exactly.
Yeah, sometimes you need a second opinion all the time. Yeah, like it's great to have a second opinion.
And just enough to know what things are called and know why things sound a certain way to be able to recognize that and say, like, AJ, the kick pattern is too much. Relax. Like,
that's dope. It was really fun, like working with you guys. Making that song was nice. I like that. I'm really looking forward to see where that song goes.
Yeah, me too.
The finished
Stay
product
tuned.
for it.
Stay
Chang Hoff
tuned.
mixtape.
Stay tuned. It's gonna come out soon. Chang Hoff mixtape, Chang Hoff show at the end of the season. Let's go. It's gonna be a great time.
Wavy.
Yeah.
Wavy.
Okay, so we're gonna get back to the music, but I wanted to ask you, because we were, talking, getting to know each other a little bit before we started recording, and I found out that you really like to read. So let's talk about some books real quick. You have Meditations with You by Marcus Aurelius.
Oh.
Yeah.
That is
Wow.
that's a great book. That's a great book.
You've gotten this one. You've gotten through this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I read that on a plane ride. I forget where I was like coming back from, but I read it on a plane ride after being recommended it like from random people on the internet, being like, "Oh, you should read this book. It's so great. It's so life-changing."
He's woke.
He really was woke.
He was
And
woke.
I had a great time. So tell me, how do you feel about Meditations?
This is a great read, and one thing about this one that makes it really appealing is like the way that the entire thing is written in really short prompts, almost like he just jotted something in his notes. It makes it very digestible. I feel like anybody could pick this up and pick up what he's putting down. You know what I'm saying? I do a lot of like researching and studying on stoicism and philosophy and all that shit. I'm really into all of that. So I had already heard lots of quotes of Marcus Aurelius and just maybe didn't actually pick up one of his own like writings, to really go through it, but I just knew that he was like a stoic philosopher. So I got my hands on this and I really like it. I've got a bunch of stuff highlighted. I'm a person who highlights in my books. You should too. I hope you do. But I haven't finished it yet. I'm almost there. I think I'm up to like book 9 of, 12?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're getting through it. What are some other books that you've really enjoyed and that you've read?
Earlier this year, I read The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle.
Mm-hmm.
Eckhart Tolle, yeah.
One of my favorites is The Alchemist, of course.
Oh,
Paulo Coelho. I feel like that was one of the first books that I picked up when I was younger that introduced me into like stories that really have a deeper meaning, like a moral, because after that one, I even though that one is very like story start to finish,
Mm-hmm.
I got into just a lot more books that make you think more internally, not just, I don't know. I used to be into like sci-fi books and stuff like that, and that's cool too. I get more into that in movies these days, but when I read, I like to, introspect a lot. And yeah.
And those are the perfect books to do so.
Yeah. Robert Greene.
Yeah.
48 Laws of Power.
Mm-hmm.
But not only that one, there's, what is it, The Art of Seduction or something?
Yeah, The Art of
And
Seduction.
Human Nature.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have copies of all of them, but I kind of cheat and I go on YouTube and I just listen to him talk about it. Like,
Yeah.
why did I just go do that? I do want to get my hands on the books, though, themselves. Yeah, I probably could go on books, but...
Yeah, those books are great. I listened to the audiobook of 48 Laws of Power and The Art of Seduction. And at points in my life where like I felt like I really needed that direction.
Mm-hmm.
And so, some of it is kind of over my head, let's say, where I'm like, this
it's
like
abstract thinking. It's
yeah.
supposed to, it's like, what's it called? Playing the devil's advocate
Mm-hmm.
almost. Having another perspective, because there are people out there who really like think like that. You know what I mean? You know who Brene Brown is?
Yeah, love Brene Brown.
Brene Brown,
Atlas of the Heart.
Atlas of the Heart, The Gifts of Imperfection.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, y'all are putting me on right now.
Yeah, hell yeah. Fuck
Yeah, listen to Brene Brown. She has good podcasts.
She
She's
also
a
has
great
a-
podcast host.
I think. Have you seen the thing of Atlas of the Heart? I think it's on Hulu. She has like a
Oh, there's like a show, right?
yeah.
I haven't
Shoot.
seen it, but
Check that one out.
I will.
Check that one out.
Okay, Kayli0n, if you had to give a quick 5 books that influence you.
Damn, I just gave like 5. There's that one. There's a Loving Kindness is another one that I read this year, and it's about like some spiritual beliefs and the loving kindness. Can't remember all the words right now or the author. I probably get that to you guys later. Damn, and the ones that I just listed, I'd have to like show y'all through my bookshelf because I like to just pick up different books and it's hard for me sometimes to get through books A to Z. I'm the type to like pick up, read a few chapters, go to another book. I have a lot of books and collect them based on different moods I might be in, or different information I might want to take in.
Yeah.
So.
And you're a big like physical book reader?
Yeah, the audio, I can't really get with the audio books. I've tried. Yeah, those are hard for me unless there's like a video attached to it.
Yeah.
Video, but I just rather watch the author's interviews on the books and stuff like that. And I used to try to read on my phone, but I really don't want to take it in that way. So yeah, physical books all the way, for sure. Yeah. I've got a library of books in my living room, like.
Oh, that's cool. Growing. Yeah. That's cool. Yeah, definitely. Physical media has like a very special charm to it. I'm a Kindle guy.
Yeah?
He is too.
Kindle,
yeah. We do
I'm kind of thinking about going back to physical.
Something about a physical book, bro. I mean, I don't know. It just is different. Like,
I do love the convenience of just having a bunch of books on my Kindle, and I can do kind of like what you're saying, where like if I'm not really in a headspace for something, I can just switch to something else easy. Like, that's nice.
That's very convenient.
But if it's like a book I really love and I want to spend time with it, I want a copy of it. I think too, just having it on my shelf to remind me. Like, I do have a good amount of books physically, just to have them and kind of remind me of them, and to give them to people. Like, sometimes I'll read a book and really like it and get some copies to give them away.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got my little library right there.
Yeah, I was looking at it when I sat down. You got some good ones over here for sure. I was looking at, that's how you got the tattoo book. That's how I knew you was into tattoos over there. So you got some Stephen King. I actually was looking at this right here, the DS game.
The DS games,
Brain Age right
Pull that
there.
out. Show that to the camera.
What y'all know about this? This is what we was talking about. Niggas who read.
Yeah, we were saying that before we started recording, where it's like you can tell if a person reads just based off the way they speak. And I think that's part of the reason why I really like reading on the Kindle, because I like to learn new words. And I often run into words when I'm reading a book that I don't
Kindle,
know.
You could just tap it, search
you hold
it.
your finger
Oh,
and it looks it up. Yeah.
I gotta get into it. I feel like I'm such an old soul. I have a copy of the dictionary in my bookshelf. I won't actually go and grab it, but I don't know. I like to highlight the word. I keep a highlighter in my bag, at least one. Look, right now I got pink, retractable, very convenient.
Oh,
demure.
Yeah, that's what I like to do.
I do a what's in my bag. Do you want to do that?
Oh my gosh. One day. Yeah.
Five things I have to have with me.
I have one thing in my bag. My fidget toy.
Oh. That's nice. Oh, you can attach it with like a carabiner or something.
This is brain age right here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay, wait. Let me find a clicky one. Yeah.
Nice.
You gotta interview
You guys
the
aren't
fidget
even high
toy.
with me right now.
All right, we're talking about books.
Yeah, I was just saying, like, I really like the little highlight in my word. I'll Google it on my phone. I have the dictionary app, so I'll just do that.
Yeah.
And I'll just look it up, and then I'll highlight that word. I don't know, something about it. It might take an extra
step or two, but that's how you like to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right now I'm reading Kitchen Confidential by Anthony Bourdain, and that guy has a crazy vocabulary.
I be watching them reruns.
Yeah.
I be watching them.
There's
bro.
so many of them on
Anthony
YouTube.
Bourdain,
Yeah.
bro.
Rest in peace. Rest in peace.
For
Yeah.
real.
He was a very cool guy, and his vocabulary is just insane. So like I feel like every page there's like 3 or 4 words that I've just never heard before that now I get to try to add to my my mental dictionary.
He's talking about the sandwich.
I go
was
extra
demure.
steps. I go extra steps to try to find words sometimes when I catch myself like saying something that doesn't define what I'm like trying to say. I'll literally go and look up like synonyms for very whatever, like, you know what I mean, and look through, you know, synonyms for it, try to find a word that's more fitting, you know.
Yeah.
Just make a mental note of it, I guess. I feel like I don't take in information as well if I don't like physically.
Yeah.
That helps a lot with songwriting too, like knowing a lot of ways to say something, just because there might be a way that fits the flow a little bit better, or it just sounds a little better.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Word.
So have you always been a reader, like since a kid?
Reading was encouraged in my childhood by my auntie and my father. And I just enjoyed it. I spent a lot of time alone, and you could really dive into a book for hours and like disappear.
Yeah.
You know, when you're a kid, if you're into that, you know. Yeah. As a kid, I did read. I probably stopped for a few years in high school and got distracted with other things. I might have picked up reading again like a year or two ago, you know.
Mm-hmm.
2 or 3 maybe years ago. But I feel like even if I wasn't reading actual books, I'm always taking in information. Like I don't always mindlessly scroll on Instagram. I feel like I'm clicking things and finding out about stuff, reading about stuff, just random shit. But it's just like taking in information, studying stuff, you know. I try to. I think I stay away from politics, and that's it. Like,
a good Wikipedia rabbit hole is nice here and there.
yeah, that type of thing.
Yeah.
Exactly. Wikipedia and YouTube rabbit holes for sure.
So speaking of your childhood, you grew up in the Bronx.
Yeah.
So I don't know much about New York. I've only been a couple of times. So how was living in the Bronx? How was your childhood growing up?
I mean, my childhood growing up was pretty cool. I'm thankful to have, you know, my dad who was able to provide for me and stuff like that. But I did spend a lot of time, you know, alone. He had to get money, and he was by himself with that. My mom wasn't present in my childhood, so I know I have the opposite for what most people have. My black dad is the one who raised me. And yeah, just I spent a lot of time in the house because the Bronx out there can be kind of crazy, and occupied myself in various ways, which is how I've come to know many things and many talents or skills, I should say. Outside wise, I mean, as a younger kid, I was kind of on the side of the Bronx, like the East Bronx, where it's not too much craziness happening. But in high school is when I went to school in the South Bronx and really got to understand more about like street culture and the realness of what's actually going on, and learning about drugs and weed and shit like that, like, you know, everything outside. It's the type of shit that it builds character to, you know, have lived to grow up knowing that a lot of people who grow up in New York are desensitized to seeing things that other people would be like freaking out or really nervous about seeing outside. But it's just like dead ass regular shit in New York. Like it's like a simulation out there. Like I was just there last week, and every day you're just like, what the fuck, bro? Like what is going on? But it builds grit. That's another one. I have a book called Grit by Angela something, I believe.
Yeah, Angela.
This guy.
I can't remember. I've also read Grit. That was a good one. That was a short read, but it was very punchy.
Yeah.
I want to say Angela Duckworth, but that might be wrong.
Maybe.
I listened to one of her
You got
podcasts.
a laptop? You can just,
I do.
You can just search that up.
I
I
do.
feel like I need.
Yeah, we need a
itch that
fact
we're gonna have
checker.
to scratch. Yeah.
We need somebody to sit over there and fact check.
Jamie, pull that up.
Yeah, I still don't.
Angela Duckworth.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Angela Duckworth,
Nice.
Grit.
You guys are good. I like that. You guys read little books.
Grit, the power
Yes.
of passion and perseverance.
At
Great.
some point, I like stopped reading self help, and I've just been reading like spiritual stuff. Like I've been on a Thich Nhat Hanh kick. Been reading this book, Fragrant Palm Leaves, about him coming to the U.S. from Vietnam,
Wow.
and just talking about his perspective on the U.S. as like a Vietnamese Buddhist monk, and he goes to New York.
New York.
He's like, how do
Wow.
people sleep here?
No, seriously.
It's never
like,
quiet.
This is exactly what I'm talking about. But like I said, it builds like a sense of dexterity, I think, in people too. Once you kind of open your eyes and actually start to see things and stuff like that. I'm very grateful to have been raised where I was raised, because I feel like I can take on anything now. Like nothing really scared me. Like we were talking about earlier, you were talking about going to Chicago, and some people would be like, ooh, Chicago, and well, yeah,
Chirac.
Chirac,
Yeah.
O Block. Like I don't know. I don't be in those type of TikTok rabbit holes where the kids be nowadays knowing all about the beef from states they don't never been to. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like,
YouTube
But-
beef analysis
Yeah.
channel.
Yeah, like
From housing projects that are literally 2 acres of the entire United States that you've never been to, and it's always the British kids too.
but yeah, it's just like a type of thing where I feel like if you figure out how to make it up in a place like that, ain't nothing really intimidating to you. It's just like, if I could do that and I'm comfortable there, and I walk confidently in a place like that, New York, or what I can imagine Chicago might be like, or anywhere where it's busy, LA, somewhere, you know, where there's a lot going on and everybody's a lot of fish in the sea, right? All at the same place. You're strong from that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. You could do a lot anywhere. You're confident to. Places are just places. They're not like such a big deal.
Yeah. It's really how you move through it that really matters.
Yeah.
So when you were in the Bronx, and growing up, you were doing reading, you were spending a lot of time, and you said you were gaining skills, learning stuff. One of those was the guitar, right?
Yeah.
So how long have you been playing the guitar? When did you start? What spawned that passion of yours?
The first guitar was given to me by a friend of my dad's he's some guy named Tim Curtin. I don't know where the fuck he's at or what he's doing right now. I think he's a country dude.
Hope you're doing well.
Hope
you're doing
Tim
well.
Curtin gave me my first guitar. And I still have this guitar. And in school, like in, I think, elementary or middle school, we had like a guitar class where we learned the basics. And some kids were really into it and some kids were really not. And I was one of the kids who was really into it. Learned it at home. You know, I had somebody gifted me a guitar, so I practiced with it at home. And then in high school, I had another teacher who encouraged it even more. And yeah, I spent a lot of time at home doing covers. If you guys ever wanted to like doom lurk, if you guys ever like started like lurking on people and finding their old pages and shit, like crazy shit like that, you probably would have found like some videos from when I was like 14 doing covers to different songs like in my room.
Do you remember the first cover you did?
The first one, the first cover that I did with the guitar, I used to do a lot of Ed Sheeran covers. What's the fucking one that I can't think of? I did a closing time with the band in school. That was in high school. I don't know. I gotta look through them. There was a bunch of songs that can't think of it on the spot right now. But Luther Vandross, I did a Luther Vandross guitar cover, Dancing with My Father. Yeah, I could pull that up for you guys. And show you guys some of that.
That would be
it's
great.
super like cringe to me because I was like, my hair was straight and long. And potato quality video. I don't know what the fuck phone I had. Like, but good times. Yeah, been playing guitar for a long time for sure, but not too crazy. I feel like I never got into like solos and all that shit. I play acoustic guitar. You know what I mean?
So when you were playing guitar, was that what you did with your band? Because I saw somewhere that you were in a band.
In high school, we had like a band where we just did covers, right? It was no like original music. We kind of rotated. Like some of us sang and played the guitar. I dabbled with the drums a little bit too. So I know I got a pretty basic drums. Like I can't do nothing too crazy, but I can play the drums a little bit. And we would just sometimes take turns. Like, hey, you want to sing this one? This one could be good for you. And, you know, I mostly sang because there were guitarists in high school who were, like, way crazier with the guitar and stuff like that. But, yeah, sometimes in practice we would play the guitar together and just jam and stuff like that. Rotate instruments, you know.
Good times.
Good
Was that something that was a program at school or just something you did after school?
It was we had one teacher. He was, like, his name was Mr. Zeppa. Shout out Armand Zeppa. He was that dude. He was the guy who ran the GSA club, the Gay Straight Alliance. He also managed the robotics club, and band, like after school music. So he got us to have school Saturdays, which was like a big feat for the Bronx to have like a school in the Bronx to have all these little classes, because he was the only teacher that gave a fuck enough to probably really stay and do all that for everybody. And he was the English teacher on top of that in the daytime. Like he just did a lot.
He was about it.
He was about it, yeah, and he loved that shit. I'm pretty sure he still got a band in there to this day. That's just like he always is recruiting kids to learn instruments, teaching people and stuff. Shout out to Armin Zeppa, yeah. I used to go for that, like to school, like.
That's awesome.
So from there, when you graduate high school, did you have like kind of a gap from music, or was that another opportunity to be like, okay, now I can make my own stuff? Like,
So there was definitely a gap from music after high school. I played a little guitar, but I didn't have no laptop or any technology to record myself with. I didn't even know anybody who was doing that at that time, believe it or not, which is surprising because now I know so many people that have been doing it for so long. But I didn't know anybody who was into it at the time. So, and then also around that time, graduating high school, I turned 18 and I had to get some money. The way my family was set up, I had to get out there and get to life. I didn't get to stay in my parents' house very long. 18, I had to work some jobs, and also at that time is when I started taking tattooing seriously as well. So I was doing both at the same time, and I was just so occupied with trying to figure that out, trying to be stable in life, figure out where I was gonna stay and where I was, getting my own. That I didn't really do music as much for a while. I might have met like a friend or two who might have pulled up and I might have recorded a little something, but I didn't make any original music for a few years after high school.
So you were really just focused on, getting out there, getting to your life, and then also tattooing, because I know you started tattooing when you were 16.
Yes.
You said that you wanted to start tattooing when you were 15.
Right.
So how was kind of like that progression?
So actually, not exactly that. I did my first tattoo on myself when I was 15 because I wanted a tattoo. Not because I wanted to tattoo anybody else. That didn't even occur to me. It was just like, I'm my father's oldest. I'm like an only child type shit. So nobody was going to take me to go get a tattoo. Nobody in my family really had tattoos like that. I couldn't sneak and get one. There was no other way. I went on YouTube and I learned how to do stick and poke tattoos. Yeah. Now I know them as hand poke tattoos. But, and yeah, I did this little arrow here on myself. You see that?
Oh, yeah.
With like a sewing needle and some calligraphy ink.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And I didn't tattoo anybody else after that for probably like a year, probably until I was almost 17, just because I wanted to do another one on myself. And then at that point, I had a friend who was like, all right, I would let you try one on me. So I was like, bet. I did one on a friend, and then another friend wanted one, another friend wanted one. And it just went off, and it just went from there to the point where it was like, all right, y'all better give me some money or something. Like, y'all better light me up or something. Like, y'all better, this got to be like, can't just do this because it's fun now. Like,
this looks good. I need something.
This is now a
yeah,
transaction.
but I was doing tattoos, like I was doing tattoos back in the day for like $20 a light up, like little shit like that. Because it was like little stick and pokes. They would take a long time though. I didn't have a machine. Like I said, tattooing, it just chose. I never sat and was like, I want to be a tattoo artist. Let me buy these things and like do that. Eventually, yeah, because it was like already a demand for it. I just learned how to do it for myself. Like I just wanted a tat, and that was like the only way I could do it. And it just kept rolling from there. Like I was doing so many hand poke tattoos that I went to a tattoo shop to go get a tattoo by this woman in the Bronx that owned a tattoo shop. I'm not gonna shout her out because we fell off. And if the niggas in the Bronx, they know who I'm talking about. But she was the one that welcomed me kind of into a professional space and encouraged me to learn how to machine tattoo, and it just, I kept going from there. I actually there's money in tattooing, as people know, when you're really good at it, and when you can build a consistent clientele. Yeah, so that was what I had to focus on for a while, like just tattooing, learning tattooing, and then, well, while I was learning tattooing and while I was building that steady enough clientele to be where I'm at now, where this is my full-time job, I was working other jobs. I worked at Shake Shack. I worked at Old Navy for a while. I worked at McDonald's. I worked at Zoomies. Worked at some little weird lounge thing that closed down in time.
Just work wherever.
Can I ask about the experience of doing that first one on yourself, that arrow?
Yeah.
What was that like?
It was cool. It wasn't nothing crazy. I was just like, I decided I wanted a tattoo. I went to the art store, which, like I said, in New York, everything is walking distance. So I took the bus to the art store, got sewing needles, got calligraphy ink, waited for my dad to go to sleep, locked my door, and I just like tattooed myself. I watched the YouTube video again, and I just did it. It wasn't really nothing crazy. It wasn't nothing profound at that point to me. Like, you know, I didn't think nothing of it. I was just like in a super rebellious, I was tweaking, like, you know what I mean? Like, I was tweaking. The sewing needle, that's crazy. Like, now I'll be like, what? That's crazy. But it turned out fine. Never got infected. It doesn't even, nobody would know that I did that stick and poke. I also did these little 3 dots on myself when I was like 16 on my finger. I got rings on right now, but it turned out fine.
Yeah, the stick and poke looks good for it being like your very first stick and poke. It's still like saturated and
yeah, never had to touch it up or anything.
Was there one that you did where you kind of realized like, oh, I am good at this, like I have a talent for this?
A stick and poke that I did that made me think like that, I'm not sure. I'd have to look back into my archives on my tattoo page. If you guys ever want, I can show you guys that if you guys want to like quickly skim through my tattoo archive to the beginning.
You're gonna show us like the privated, like the hidden stuff?
I'll show you guys.
Whoa.
I can't put that all like out, like, because, you know, people don't need to see that much of the old shit. But I do have a couple of old ones, you know, unarchived. But yeah, I'll let you guys go all the way to the bottom of my tat page. Like I said, I made this tattoo page when I was probably freshly 17. So a lot of these are all stick and pokes. This is a stick and poke.
Oh dang.
This little bat is a stick and poke. I did some crazier stick and pokes in this later on, but all of these are hand poke tattoos.
Wow.
These are the only 2 that are not hand poke tattoos. But the lettering, this is a hand poke tattoo.
Wow.
That they were more complex ones than that. These were all stick and pokes.
Dang.
And that was when I was 17, I think, that I did these.
So many. You must have done like thousands at this point.
Oh yeah, I've tattooed thousands of people at this point. I've tattooed people that didn't speak English. I've tattooed in different states. Like, I don't know, it's crazy. It's crazy. That's a crazy thing to think about. Like, because it's like an energy exchange. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's tattoos in places I've never been that I did. You know? It's like crazy.
And you like spend so much intimate time with this person that you just may never see again.
For real.
And then they just carry your artwork on them forever.
Literally. It's crazy to think about. It still trips me out all the time. Like, you know?
So how do you feel about your progression as a tattoo artist? Because now you're doing insane, very good work.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I've come a long way for sure, but I feel like I could definitely get better. Like, there's more detailed tattoo work. It goes up from there. Like, there's still a lot that I could learn, haven't learned yet, or haven't practiced in a while. Like, I'm not really doing a lot of color work these days, which is a whole different ball game. It's like a whole different field, honestly. There's still a lot of growth, you know, in terms of the actual skill of tattooing and the art and learning art, like, you know, art theory. But also there's a lot to do. There's a lot to grow for me with the next steps in terms of a business owner. Like, okay, I'm like, it's cool. People Zelle me and Cash App me and stuff like that. Like, I got to figure out the LLC thing still. I work, you know, not in a shop right now. So it's kind of weird. And like, what's the next step? You know, how do I make this official? Or like, how can I, you know, it's cool. It works out for me now, but what's the next step, you know, in the future? I'm 24 now. What do I want with my tattoo career by the time I'm 27? Something more than this, you know?
So do you see yourself doing that as like your main profession for a while? It's like, I know that is your full-time job. So of course that takes your full-time energy. But you're also doing a lot of other stuff as well. So how do you feel like you're currently balancing that, and how do you want to continue to balance that in the future?
I think I do a pretty good job of balancing it out. But it can be tough. I live not above my means, but kind of right where my means are. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I ain't mad at it. The way I see it is that motivates me to get some more money. Like, you know, I'm the type of person that I buy shit and then I'm like, nah, I gotta get some more money. Like, you know, that's just like, I don't know, my logic. Girl math. Girl math all the way. I'm all about girl math. So yeah, that's just like the tattooing. I don't know. Do I want it to be my thing forever? Not exactly. I'm cool with like that being my thing forever, but it takes a lot of time. It hurts my back. There's no reason my neck and my back should hurt this much at my age. And I'm sitting in very uncomfortable positions. I'm sure there's chairs and shit I can buy that might make that easier for me. But I would like to get to a point where I'm on the other end of tattooing, like owning a shop, maybe training other tattooers, or something else. I own a tattoo product and make money off the tattoo product, or maybe I'm on a tattoo show one day and something else. Like
build a brand
exactly.
wherever that may go.
Exactly.
I remember you posted something a while ago that I thought was so funny, where you were like, will somebody host a tattoo competition so that I can win? you were like, I can't host it because I want to win. Somebody else. But that could be something where like you could have some kind of competition or like some kind of show or train people, or
I think that would be cool. I'd love to do all that stuff. I feel like I'm open to doing all that stuff. I just got to figure out how to make it legit, like like make it where it's just like more than just, oh yeah, I did that real quick, but how can I make this official, profitable, something that can make money for itself, you know what I mean? I gotta learn more about that end of things. It's not all just, to me, I've always been focused on just creating the art and not as much on the business side of things, So
that's how you see yourself kind of focusing your time and your mental energy in the near future, is to try to shift more from the artist, the craftsman, to the business person. Because
I feel like I'm at a good place right now with like the quality of the tattoo work that I do. And to take it even the next level from that would require a super lot of focus and, like even more hours put into that. And I don't really want to do that right now, because then that's going to take from my music and my artistry, performing outside, modeling, styling, like, you know what I mean? When I tattoo, I'm bummy. I'm cute right now. You see this? I got
she's
the flare
fitted
on with the jacket and the hat and the shoes. But when I'm tatting, I be having the slides with the with the sweats, with the hair like just tied crazy. Like, I do not get cute to tattoo.
Executive decisions.
Right. So I don't know. I just want to make sure that I still am able to put enough time and energy into my music and performing and that side of my artistry, modeling. I want to get into acting too. Like, so many other check marks and titles that I want to check off.
All your other side quests.
Right. And the tattooing takes a lot of time. So I got to figure out how to make the tattooing make its money without me having to break my back all the time for it.
Literally breaking your back. Yeah.
I wonder if there's got to be like a harness where you can kind of you attach it to the ceiling and you're just hanging.
Dude, today on that that lower back tattoo that I showed you, I'm sitting like this, bro. Like, literally, because like I don't have the proper chairs or setup to put her all the way high up where she's like eye level with me, and you know what I mean? Yeah.
That could be your invention. It could be like a harness you just hang. You have like little
tattooers everywhere are gonna be like sliding across the room in tattoo shops and connected to like rail systems tracks.
It's like a crane operator. There's like a joystick.
That's
hold
funny.
on, I gotta do the other side.
Cool. So you started tattooing in New York, but then you moved to Tampa in February of 2022.
Correct.
What brought you to Tampa?
My aunt, my mother's sister, moved to Riverview like in 2000 or something like that. So I visited her sometimes, like in high school, like in summer vacations and little trips like that. So I already had a taste of Florida a little bit, and it's very the opposite of New York. It's like very much slower. The weather is different, and when I was ready to move out of New York, which is really what it was more so about. It was more so about like ready to leave New York.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to go somewhere where I had family nearby. I don't really have family everywhere. I'm not one of those people who's got like family here, family there, family in this state. I don't really know a whole lot of, you know, my families are kind of small on both sides. So I moved to Florida. You know, I wanted to make sure I was still in proximity to somebody close to me, but wanted to see the rest of the world, or at least get a taste of it, you know?
Yeah. So there was, besides just like having family here and already like coming and visiting, there was no real like draw to Tampa.
So I was 22 in 2022, which means, you know, I didn't go to high school out here. So I didn't really know too much other than just like the weather is nice and the people seem chill. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't really until I moved that I really was like, oh, wow, there really is a lot of art out here. There really is like a lot of music out here. And a lot of like the people are really hospitable. You know what I mean? I really have grown so much more appreciation for this area since I've moved. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I didn't like know there was this much to love. I just was like, all right, the weather is palm trees.
Yeah.
Like, you know?
Yeah. I like to ask that question because being like born and raised here and knowing now, like seeing how Tampa has changed over the years, and then also me like moving to a different part of the country and then coming back and like having this newfound appreciation for Tampa and the stuff that goes on here and the people here. I always like to ask like what drew someone to come here, because it's so normal for me, because you know I've been here, like I know this place like the back of my hand. And now knowing that so many new people are coming in, and especially so many like talented people like yourself, or people with eclectic taste and interest, and who are like really like helping move stuff forward here, whether for good or for bad, however you want to think about it, that really always interests me. So you're really liking Tampa and the scene and the art and the music.
Yeah, I'm really happy here. I think there's a really nice balance between like the city life and not the city life, which I like because I live kind of closer to the city-ish, right? This downtown Tampa, right? Which is like a little mini city compared to what I'm used to. But there's still so much life. Like, you know, like there's still so much life. There's Ybor, you know, there's always shit going on in the weekdays, like out here. And I didn't know that when I moved out here. I thought it was like, oh, everything closes at 8 o'clock and everybody sleeps. People be sleeping. That's what I thought. Because in New York, there's this like loud shit all the time. The lights are always on. I didn't realize that there was so much going on still here, you know. Now I do. And that's like.
What was that like when you first moved and you got to find stuff to do, like meet people? Because I feel like my experience anytime I'm in New York is you just stumble onto things. I feel like Tampa, you kind of have to know somebody or know what's happening. Like,
that's a good point. Yes, to a degree. Like, I have two cousins. I have like three cousins, older cousin and two younger cousins. My older cousin, he's like 31, and my two younger cousins are 20 and 18. So it's a good balance between like a older crowd, or like that a little bit older than me crowd, and then the jits, right? That's what y'all be calling them, right?
yeah, the jits.
And all my cousins also are into all different types of things, and I met a lot of people through them in different areas. And then it's the same thing where like you meet people through people. Yeah. Also tattooing and having that as a means to meet people helps, as also a means to put myself out there and walk up to somebody and say, hey, my name is Kayli0n, or hey, my name is Sumi, here's my card, follow me online. You start like that. I'm never afraid to walk into, I go places by myself all the motherfucking time. Like, I will catch a flyer and not know who the fuck is gonna be there. I'll still pull up with nobody with me. Like, I do shit like that all the time. I'm not afraid to walk up to people and say what's up, compliment somebody, ask a question. Like, you know, I feel like that's a lost art. Like, conversating with strangers. Like, I know that it's not for everybody, of course, but I would say that having that trait, skill, person, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, right? Because it could be either any of the above, made it easier for me to navigate in a new place. I think that's also something, like I said, that I've gotten from and being in New York, like it's just like I don't know. I'll say something to somebody or not. Like if somebody says something to me, it's just like I don't know. I'm not one of those people who super stank about it, but like I don't know. I can deal. I just love to go through different situations. I don't know.
Yeah, you like to be in the mix.
I like to be in the mix
because that's where the fun is.
Yeah, and when you put yourself in the mix, there's always going to be some interesting situations that you're going to have to figure out.
Yeah.
And then it just makes you so much more like open to putting yourself in places where situations may occur. Like, you know?
Absolutely. I feel like exactly how you said, it's like either a personality or it's like a skill. It's like kind of a mix of the both, because I haven't always been very like open and like willing to go and talk to strangers, and it was a skill that I've had to like learn how to do as I've grown up, because I'm like, I'm not going to be this like shut in for the rest of my life. Like that's not what I want. And it's brought so much like fulfillment in my life, like so much joy, but also like you said, like you get into some interesting places sometimes, and that's just what you sign up for. So
that's what you sign up for.
It can be a skill too. I think for some people it's just a talent where they just are born with that energy of just walking up to somebody and be like, hey, good
that's
to
what
meet
I
you.
say, personality, right?
Yeah. But for some people, like I can definitely tell just over the course of us doing this, like just deciding to like interview somebody every week, you can kind of gain that skill of like, okay,
it opens you up.
Yeah, you open up, like you're just like, oh, I just ask a question and then listen and then say something and then ask another question and then
conversation.
You know it,
I'm
like,
all for thought-provoking conversation, like
Yeah.
a lost art, like literally I'm all for it, like talking to people, asking strange questions, sitting and having to think like, damn, I ain't never thought about that. That's one of my favorite feelings in the world. When somebody can cause that within me, I like that. That's one of my favorite things, because everything else be so you know.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things too, like being on this podcast and talking to people and asking them questions. Like when someone goes like, like that's a good question, I never thought about that before. I like that. I love that shit.
Yeah,
I love that shit. All right, so let's go back to some music stuff, because I know we were just talking, you know, tattooing is your main thing, but you do want to keep time and energy open for the music stuff.
Yeah.
So you just released the Limitless mixtape February of this year, 2024. Tell us a little bit about the process of putting that out and making it.
Yeah, the Limitless mixtape. So all of that was recorded here in Florida. None of that was before I moved. All of that was after I moved. There are a lot of features on that one. Different people that I've met out in Florida, friends I've made. And it was recorded in all different studios with different engineers and stuff, because that was one of the things that I was dealing with when I moved, was trying to find just people to work with, because it's not just about who can click the button. You know what I mean? That's like literally not just about who can click the button. It's got to be who can vibe with, who takes their work seriously, who's going to crank their shit out in a timely manner and actually cares about what they do. And not only do you care about what you do, but you also do it well, because some people could care the fuck out of what they do and they just don't got it, right? I'm very real with, I'm really very real with shit, like, you know what I'm saying? So finding different people, you know, trying to see who I vibed with. Personally, I think that I really wish that it was a little bit more uniform, you know, but it was so hard. Like I didn't have a USB or whatever, like to keep my own files, to keep my stems and shit like that. I didn't have that. So a lot of my files were just in the hands of mad different people. I wasn't able to work on them as I pleased. And I wish that I could have put more work into it, but I felt like I was already working on it for like a year, and I don't know. I know things take time, but I felt like it was just too difficult for me to gather all the bits and pieces from everywhere. I had everything scattered. I think that it's a really good kind of rough representation of the fact that I can do a lot of different styles and genres. That's why I called it the Limitless mixtape, because it's just like these are all different vibes. You know, only a ear that is very open to different things or has listened to different kinds of music is gonna like all 12 songs on the mixtape. Like that's real. I did not expect nobody to, or I didn't expect everybody to love all 12 songs on the mixtape. It's very different stuff, from Tweaking to Confess. That's like different personality people's. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I already knew that was gonna be like that. But I just said, fuck it. Like, it was either that or try to drop them all as singles, which I don't know. I wasn't like, I didn't want to do it that way. I just didn't want to do it that way. Dropped it as a mixtape. I'm pretty proud of it still. The fact that it, you know, it all came together. I still listen to the mixtape very often. Shout out to all the engineers that partook in that, all the artists that are featured on that, all the producers, because now I feel like that gave me a taste of what it'd really be like to seriously put together like an album where everything is cohesive and like how much goes into that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Word.
What is your favorite song off the mixtape?
What is my favorite song off the mixtape? That's crazy, big dog. Like, you be asking people stuff like that. They all my favorite. Okay. Came True with Ray Millions. That's number one on the album, on the mixtape. Came True. It's a positive message. I feel like people don't hear that as often anymore. People don't be listening to stuff anymore that literally is like encouraging, right? Like, we don't hear a lot of encouragement in this genre, at least, or close to this genre, rappers and stuff like that. And I think it's got a great energy to it. You know, I think that song's got a great energy to it. Ray freestyle his verse, and I was like so happy with how it came out, because, you know, sometimes when you work with artists, you be like, yeah, I want to put this person on something, and they do something and it's just like, that's not like,
It's not what I pictured.
yeah. But Ray hit his verse right on the head, man. That's definitely one of my favorites. Some of these I like to perform more than I like the way the track sounds, and that goes with me, like, just lost the stems, didn't go back to that engineer, so I couldn't re-record it, didn't feel like re-recording it from scratch type shit, because if I could have gave him another go, I might have. So I perform them like with a different energy kind of now, but I like to perform Reaching. Hey with Yism, that's a fire one. You know Yism, right?
I've seen Yism around.
You've seen Yism around. Yism's cool dude. You guys gotta get him on here with his whole Macavision and Third Eye Gang and all that shit. Shout out Yism, Billy Moon.
Yism, come on the pod. We're telling you now. Put in
Right.
the PSA out.
For sure. Confess, Take a Flick. Those are the two that got the music videos.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say
saw
those
Take
are my
a Flick
favorite.
one time, and it was fun. You had everybody doing them.
Take a flick. You know, I wish I could do the dance with a microphone in my hand, but I didn't think that one through.
I guess like
Those are my faves for sure.
Yeah. Take a Flick is my favorite.
Yeah?
For sure, yeah.
Nice.
I love that one. I don't know.
It's vibey. That was
It
like
is.
a freestyle in the studio the day I came back the last time from New York visiting. Hopped in the studio the next day.
I
Did
just
kind of what we did today.
took a flick.
So what's
a
the
flick.
next project sound like? Is that in the works?
It's not exactly in the works yet because I need a producer. A very open-minded producer.
Okay.
Who's into stuff like jazz and Motown, boom bap, not boom bap, like doo-wop, like old school 50s and 60s. Because I want to do a tiny EP, something short, a little EP on some old school shit. I think I put myself first as a singer, then a rapper, because I sang first. I started singing first.
That's
I
your
feel
foundation.
Yes, 100%. And I think that's gotten blurred more lately because I think I've been rapping a lot more lately. Then there was the rap slam competition, you know, which put my name out a little bit more as an artist. And so I want to bring something back to the table. I want to bring the singing back for sure.
Yeah.
And yeah, trying to do
live
something
band
like
for
that.
sure.
Live band.
Yeah.
Yes, it's really that. There's really that. Producer for sure, but live band. I haven't really gotten with too many instrumentalists, and then, you know, I'm sure it can be really hard to try to round up a bunch of instrumentalists.
I mean,
It can be.
Unless you're
It
a guy.
doesn't have to
Yeah,
be.
you're right.
Yeah.
That's definitely, I would love that, to get with some instrumentalists and really like put something together like that from scratch. You know, some of my favorite songs that I've made. Also, I have a bunch of unreleased stuff that I'm sure you guys were not able to find because it's not on the lines and stuff. Maybe you
we
were
have it.
actually.
We have
Maybe
it
you
all.
have.
Yeah.
Maybe you have. Maybe you have actually. Maybe you have online.
press play on the unreleased.
But my favorite stuff that I've been doing lately is with instrumentalists or people who actually not just people who make beats with loops. That's like the rapper stuff, which is cool, and that's an art form in its own too. And I have songs with producers that do that way. But coming from a band in high school, knowing how to play the guitar, I love the sound of raw instruments way better. So that would just make my whole life for sure.
Yeah.
To be able to
there's
help
people
with
out here
that.
that I think you can find your band.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a feeling.
I've been trying to find a lot of different, like, I was trying to find, like, kind of, like, some help, like, with management, like, talent management type shit. You know, I think you remember that when I posted that and stuff like that.
Yeah, I remember you posting about that.
I'm kind of tired of, like, posting stuff on the interwebs, hoping somebody, like, swipe up and be like, yeah. Because I don't know. People don't really, people don't hop on shit until they see somebody else hopped on shit. Like, you know what I mean? Nobody ever wants to be the first, like, to join something, you know. I don't know.
Yeah, that's just human nature, though.
It is human nature, 100%. It is.
But then you find those people who really take the initiative and they see it and they go for it, and
Right.
you know, you gotta hold on to those people.
So what do you feel like that next step is that you would find with some kind of management? Is it a matter of just like finding the studio environment or putting a band together, or just
All
finding
of the
bookings,
above.
or- okay.
All of the above. Because I feel like I have a lot on my plate with having to also handle my own bookings for tattooing, because if I don't make money, then I'm cooked, right?
Yeah.
I got to deal with that end of things, that it can be a little bit hard for me to try to figure out where I can perform at and stuff like that. Also, I'm still like trying to see what's up with a studio or engineer or environment that I feel like I can lock in with. But at the same time, I've come to realize that doing so many genres as I do, I might not find one person, and I gotta like just like be open to that. So maybe I do. You know, it's difficult being a person of many things, because I can't just find that one guy to send me beats. Like, you know, I can't just have, you know, like, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're working in 12 different genres,
Exactly.
you might have to go to 12 different studios.
Real. So
You're going on tour
I
just
just
to
feel like,
record,
yeah,
like-
I could use some assistance with that. Somebody who talks to people and says, oh, I think I know a guy who does the jazz stuff. Hey, I think I know a guy who make drill beats over there, you know, or something. Hey, you know, the showcase. This guy's throwing a showcase over there. This guy's throwing a showcase over here. Put Kayli0n on it. You know.
Yeah.
Somebody who's got eyes in those directions, ears in those directions for me, just to take a little bit of the load off for me, you know, so I can focus on making the art.
Yeah.
Doing your craft.
You got a lot of booking. You're booking tattoos. You're booking shows. You're reading books.
I think I make it look easy and graceful.
You're very
I'd like to
booked.
I'd like to think I make it look graceful.
So what are some of your musical inspirations, or just the music that you listen to on the regular?
A whole different mix of stuff. I love Kodak Black. Is that random? I know you guys are Floridians, and that's just like, that's so basic. But
I love Kodak
I
Black.
fucking love me some Kodak Black.
Yeah.
I listen to a lot of jazz and old school music as well these days. Like a lot of that. I'm in my jazz girl era.
What kind of jazz? What are you getting
All
into?
different levels of jazz, right? Because there's modern jazz,
Mhm.
there's like lo-fi jazz, there's like blues, which is kind of jazz, and they're similar. I think they're very close.
Yeah.
All of that shit. I don't know. I'd have to look through and list artists. I mean, I listen to a lot of Etta James, Sam Cooke. Like, there's all them artists from back in the days, like the Temptations, and I can't think of all the names because, you know, they be having them smooth ass names. The Delegations, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, shit like that.
Yeah.
Then I don't even know. Sometimes I had a phase where I was listening to a lot of dubstep and house too when I was like maybe in middle school. I
Yeah.
had that phase
Yep.
more, and now these are still in my like music, so they'll pop up every once in a while, and I'm like, oh yeah, you know, but it might not be in my day to day. I don't know. Depends on the mood I'm in. I be in different moods for a week and a half, and then I switch.
So are you like a playlister, or are you an album listener, or do you like to switch it up to a little bit of both?
I used to do the playlists thing and the albums thing. Like, I don't really do the album straight through thing. Nah, I I like to click different playlists of songs. So you guys use Spotify or Apple Music?
Spotify.
Spotify all the way. I'm definitely a go-to radio
Yeah.
like type of girl, and then
Mhm.
I'll just play that, shuffle that, start hearting shit, liking shit like
Mhm.
that. And then mostly I just play shit out of my liked, like I just like go to my liked songs and I just hit shuffle on that bitch and I just be skipping the fuck out of shit. Like,
Yeah.
I'm a skipper. I'm gonna play everything and I'll just skip what I'm not trying to hear right now because I don't even know what to expect. Unless I'm in a particular type of mood, then I'll go to that song and then I'll like go to radio or go to artist or something like
Yeah.
that. You know?
I'm the same way. I know there's some people who hate on that, but that's how I like to listen to music.
For real.
Yo, I threw on Discover Weekly today. I haven't done that in a while.
Yeah.
Discover Weekly.
Discover Weekly.
Did it hit?
I
this
do
week?
that sometimes too.
Also,
I do
Daily,
this.
Daily Mix 3 has been hidden.
Daily Mix 3.
Yeah, Daily Mix 3.
You know what the fuck I don't like? Have you guys tried the fucking AI DJ?
Yes.
Wait, I love that. I don't
like,
use it that much.
What's
I
up,
think it's
guys? Welcome to your Spotify podcast, dude.
hilarious. Time
He's
for a
like trying to be.
vibe.
He's like kind of supposed to sound black, but not really. Like right? Like I don't know.
Well, it is a real guy. They trained it on somebody that worked at Spotify.
I don't know. It's weird.
He had
to
like
me.
a podcast, and they just used the podcast to train the voice.
I don't know. It's weird to me. He sound like a bot. I can't fuck with
I mean,
it. I
he
can't
is.
fuck
He
with
is
it.
a
He
bot.
sound like a bot.
He
He
is
sound
indeed
like a
a
bot.
bot.
I don't give, you can tell me that's a real nigga. I don't give a. I don't even care. That's a bot. Yeah, I can't do that one. He don't be hitting too. Like that DJ, like it don't hit the right. It don't like play the right stuff. You can't
Yeah.
pick a mood. He just plays what he wants to play.
That'll
for
be the
you.
next one. Is it's like AI DJ, but you can talk to them.
Right.
It's
Hey, yo,
like
DJ, give me some Ice Spice stuff. You know,
Yeah.
Patty, I'm doing it worse.
Honestly, I see it soon in the future where it's like our phones or like whatever entity we're using is like so connected to us that it just knows exactly what you need in that moment, and it'll just
scary.
play you bangers or whatever you want.
That's dope, but that's
Yeah, isn't that a scary thing? But that's where we're headed.
I'm curious to see. 'Cause
imagine them just being like, I know you'll like this song.
here's a song I know you'll like.
Yeah, speaking of that, you should hear this.
Or like you're talking about something and a song just starts playing.
Nah, no
Like
way.
you just start crying in your room, just sad music comes on.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I love Spotify. I had like a big phase where like I would go and I would find people that I liked their music, and then I would go to their artist page and like scroll down where it was like the recommended other artists, and I would go down the line until I found the smallest artist, like people with 100 listeners a month,
Yeah.
and just try to find like these random little gems, and that was a fun time.
Yeah. You know what else I've been doing lately?
What?
I'll record a video or whatever. Like today, I did this today actually. I had a green outfit on earlier. If we did this podcast earlier, I would have had a different outfit on. But what I did instead was I went to the thrift shop and I limited myself to 45 minutes, and I got this outfit.
No way.
Yeah.
Sick.
So I was wearing green earlier, and I got a matcha tea.
Okay.
And then I took a little 4-second video or whatever for my story, and then I just went to music and I typed in matcha, and I found some song by somebody like I don't even know who the fuck that is, but it hit. He said a bar about matcha, and I was like, this hits. This hits really hard. So I put it, and then I went and I searched his name, and it was some dude with like 7K, and I followed him, and he reposted it, and it's like cool. And then I went and I saved his song on Spotify, like.
And who knows where that might go. You just like, yeah, exactly. You just found
Could
some.
be on Matcha
Right.
too.
Yeah, you could be on matcha,
Matcha
too.
Yeah, another one too. Like by doing that, the radio stuff and similar stuff to what you're doing, finding like artists with low streams or like lower stuff like that. I found this song called "Better" by Archie Holmes, right? That I didn't even realize like that he was a regular like dude, like on I thought it was a house song similar to the genre we were kind of going for today. And that'd been my shit for like a week. Like I'm like playing the song, and I'm like, one day I'm like, you know what? Who the fuck is Archie Holmes, bro? Let me look this up. And I went on Instagram and I looked him up, and he's just like, yeah, a regular dude posted to a story, and I'm like, bro, this is gas. Like what the fuck? Like followed him and I hit him up, and I'm like, bro, you should just know that this has been my shit, and I've been playing this all the time, and that's it. I'm in America. Bye. Like. He's like a Brit. Like I don't know where the fuck he's like somewhere else. I don't know how I stumbled upon his song, but I'm sure that made his day. Like, hey, somebody in the U.S.
Yeah. It is really cool how like nowadays the access to be able to make music is so accessible to so many different types of people that you really will just run into someone who makes a song that like absolutely just does it for you.
Word.
And they're just like just beginning their musical career, or like they're just, you know, they're not like a artist that is touring and they have all these listeners and like that's their brand and this and that. And you can really connect with people that way. Like there's been plenty of people where exactly like that, where it's like I really like their music and I follow them and I support them online, and they like interact with me because they're still at that point where they're like can still interact with all their fans or whatever, and it's really cool. It's super cool. Yeah.
Same thing with finding beats like on YouTube, which I'm trying to grow out of, right? But also at the same time, there's a lot of cool producers that put their stuff on there, and they be kind of cool. My song "Divide," which is not on the mixtape, but it's one of my first single ever out on all platforms, was produced by this guy. His Instagram, his like handle is Active by Night. And he ended up getting like 3 Summer Walker placements shortly after. So I got a song by the dude that got got beats by Summer. Like he made Summer Walker beats.
All because of you put them on.
Yeah.
Right. That would be
Summer
crazy.
Walker heard your song and was like, whoa, who is this?
Oh yeah, I need that one. Yeah, nah, that's crazy, right? Imagine that. That would be some shit if that's how it worked out. But yeah. So that's cool. Exactly. Same thing. Like, dude, and now he has a bunch more followers, and now his beats are harder to, you got to snag them now, or somebody's going to get that exclusive or something like that. But cool shit like that. I love the accessibility these days of like, hey, you know.
So what are some, you've tattooed some music artists, right? I think I saw you tattooed Triplin.
Triplin. Yeah, he's probably like the mainstream person that I've tattooed. That was like shortly after my last birthday, so that was like December of last year. It worked. The way that shit worked out, it worked, bro. I had a whole plan to it because like honestly the way that worked out was I was listening to Triplin. I don't know what happened, like it stumbled on my shit and I was listening to a lot of Triplin at that time. And I was getting the advertisement for, he had a show coming up at Janice Live a few weeks ahead, right? And I kept seeing him like, do I want to go to this? I'm like, should I buy my ticket? I don't know. I'm just going to see if later on. Literally a few days before that concert, I was thinking about it so hard, like, fuck, should I buy this ticket right now or what? That I just had the grand idea of like, you know what? I'm going to do something crazier. I posted a tattoo on my friend who was like, a shorter, dark-skinned dude with dreads who could pass as Triplin if you hide the face completely, right? and I told my following, everybody just spam the fuck out of Triplin, tag him in this shit. He's gonna be in Tampa. Let's see if he wants to get tattooed. And it worked. Like, it fucking worked. He literally, like, he hit me up and was like, hey, I could get a tattoo. Yeah, fuck it. Like, I was seeing everybody tagging me in this shit, so, you know.
The peer pressure worked.
Yeah, the peer pressure worked. Come to find out, I also know a person or two back in New York who knows Triplin and also was able to vouch for me and be like, yo, that girl who's posting your shit and blowing your shit up, she's actually valid. You know, she's had it me, or she, you know, something like that. So he had extra backing up from people who actually had his phone number and shit like that. Yeah. And yeah, it worked out. He had me pull up to his telly and I did a little small tap for him. He did a video for the song Stephanie that day, and I got my little debut in there, my little cameo. Hey, that's awesome. Tattooing him, so that was cute. Definitely more celebrities that I want to tattoo soon. I'm really got my eyes on Lil Tyler, bro. I'm really trying to tattoo Lil Tyler. I got a homie named Zay Cartier, who's a producer. He's produced for Lil Tyler, Boston Richie, and he also did Reachin', and another song that I've got called 42 Cranberry Sprite that I haven't released yet. But he be tapped in with Lil Tyler. So I'm trying to see. And then I got Lil Tyler's DJ following me already. You know, I tagged Lil Tyler in something the other day and he watched my story. So we're gonna see what's up.
You're making it happen.
Making it happen.
Yeah.
Very calculated. That's how you gotta be though. Because they're not just gonna respond to everybody. You know what I mean?
I think especially too when you've grown your page and you have such a portfolio now, where like somebody looks at your tattoo page and they can just tell the level of quality and the different styles that you can do. I think that
different styles you could do. That's my favorite thing.
Yeah,
and
like,
everything. I get bored too easily, bro. I get bored too easily. My train of thought is like this big.
All right. is there any, we've talked about music, talked about tattoos, talked about a lot of different stuff. Is there any art form you feel like you haven't really tried that you're curious about?
I mean, a bunch of other stuff. Like, I made a little clay ashtray the other day. I thought that was cool. Pottery and, like, sculpting shit. That sounds fun. Other art forms. I've never danced. So I think that would be a cool one. Like, if I, was able to make music more of a thing and maybe did a video one day where I could get a choreographer and have somebody teach me a dance. Like, I don't know. I'm not one of those people who be on TikTok doing the whole, like, I don't know, none of them shits. I'm not a dancer, right? But I think I could dance because I be in the club dancing. Y'all see me, I was dancing in here. Like, I do like to dance. I just never did dancing. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So that's fun. That's an art form, right?
Yeah, for sure.
I want to start making clothing or like at least customize it. Yeah, like tailoring clothing, something like that. Going to Fashion Week last week opened my eyes, and also Chroma Fest, which was right before that in Lakeland, literally the days before, really opened my eyes to like, yo, like these people just learned how to sew and now they're making this shit. And like seeing actually the actual designers, not just what they're making and putting on other people, but what they made for themselves was like, ooh, I like that. And I be dressing. I like me a good fit. I like me a well-fitting pair of pants. And I have a difficult size and build to find that type of thing. So if I could learn how to do a sewing machine and then really start putting shit together, that would be cool. I think I could go crazy with that.
Well, same thing like you said with tattoos. Like, you just wanted one, so you did it on yourself.
Exactly. And really, like, it's the same thing. Like, I just need some better fitting pants. I'm really into flares these days, but they're not, like, it's hard to find. So about to just make my own, like,
Yeah. Why not?
Exactly.
And nowadays, just like with music, the accessibility to like find the resources and just how nowadays I feel like a lot of people like yourself, you just went thrifting. Where now thrifting is just like part of the culture. If you're into fashion, you like to put on fits, like go 100%. Thrift, you go and find clothes cheap, and it's like good for the environment because it's like upcycled or however you want to say it. So totally. Hell
yeah. I feel like if did you guys watch Leave the World Behind on Netflix? Oh, you guys gotta check that out. It was, I think, executive produced by Michelle and Barack Obama. And it's kind of one of those like dystopian kind of films about like, hey, whenever the government decides to like fuck us over, you know what I mean? It's one of those things kind of where the tech and they got the Teslas driving themselves and shit. They cut off the GPS, they cut off the communication. Nobody has phones, nobody has shit, right? And shit. That's what the movie's about. And I lost my train of thought for a second. What were we just talking about a second ago?
Good for the environment. Thrifting is good for the environment.
Yeah.
Right. Thrifting, good for the environment.
Accessibility to resources.
Fuck, I lost my train of thought so bad. Oh, yeah. Just, you guys gotta watch that. Never mind.
People talking about that. I haven't seen it, but people were talking about it in terms of like.
I remember what I was saying. YouTube. The day they cut off YouTube, I think we're fucked. Because everything I've ever learned, I learned from YouTube. Not literally, but type shit.
Yeah.
So that's what I was getting at, because that's why I mentioned that movie, because it was executive produced by the Obamas. So you guys got to watch it, because it could be serious. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. You got to check YouTube.
It's on Netflix. That one's on Netflix. That movie is on Netflix. But I was talking about, I can learn sewing on YouTube. I learned how to tattoo from YouTube. Anybody can learn anything from YouTube. I can learn how to do pottery on YouTube. I can learn how to cut hair on YouTube. I can learn how to do whatever the fuck I want to dance on YouTube. Yeah. YouTube's real. Like, YouTube is like that for real.
YouTube is my best friend. I love YouTube. YouTube
is seriously like that.
I'm a YouTube power user.
And guess what? These people watching us, they're on
YouTube.
They're on YouTube.
That ass. So the day that they clip YouTube, I don't know. People are just going to be like, think like losing their shit.
It's interesting with YouTube too, because it doesn't really have a competitor.
Nah.
Vimeo. Who uses that?
What is Vimeo? Like, I thought that was like a TikTok thing.
Probably TikTok is the biggest competitor right now, but they're not different. They're not even.
But you can't like
the same.
search. Can you search? I'm not a TikTok user.
Yeah.
Can you just search something directly and like?
You can.
And learn how to do something.
Yeah.
It's just gonna be.
Yeah, I think nowadays
You got to get through a lot of crap and
yeah.
like.
I think nowadays TikTok search is pretty good, but yeah, I haven't been on TikTok in years, so I don't know.
I don't know what that's about.
That's not
what's
how I
going
like
on
to
over there.
indulge.
Yeah.
I remember talking to my younger cousins, and I just was like thinking of some question that I was gonna Google, and they were like, "Oh, let me search it on TikTok." It was just like
That's
some random trivia.
different.
I'm like, whoa,
Yeah.
that's where the generation is different.
That's
Yeah.
where the generation has
Yeah.
gone. Yeah, I don't know.
Where they're like, oh, no, I don't
Everybody
use
tells me
Google.
that if I got on TikTok, that I should get on TikTok and make that a thing. But that just sounds like another thing on my plate. Like, you know, because I don't want to get on TikTok and be a doom scroller. If I'm going to be on TikTok, it's as obviously a content creator, influencer, whatever that is. And yeah, that probably helped tremendously. Probably would have helped tremendously already if I had started that by now. I'd probably be, I don't know, somewhere else. But I don't know if that's something I can like fully dive into. I'm like a kind of an all or nothing person too. Like, you know,
And TikTok will get you. Their algorithm is very good.
I don't even
So
want
like,
it.
yeah, moment you open the app, a couple swipes in, they'll figure out what you like,
Yeah.
and it's over from then. You'll spend 5 hours a day on TikTok.
Have you put stuff out on YouTube before?
The mixtape is on YouTube. I have one song on YouTube that is nowhere else but YouTube. It was a random freestyle, and I don't know. I had the impulse one day to drop it because I was listening to it really hard, and I just dropped it. So that's there. I've got one song or two on SoundCloud
Okay.
that I just forgot about for a while. And just the YouTube, the videos for Confess and Take a Flick are on YouTube. Aside from that, I haven't done much with a YouTube channel. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Have you thought about doing any kind of other content on YouTube? Like any kind of.
totally.
Yeah.
I mean, like similar stuff to this, different
Yeah.
podcasts about talking about shit. Like I could chat. Like I'd be chatting. So I could do that. Like, or same thing, like teaching people stuff. But then it's hard though, because it's like, if I was trying to teach people how to tattoo, let's say, right? There are other ways that I could do that in a more profitable manner, like making online courses type shit, right? It might not be wise to do that on YouTube. Although there are successful YouTube tattooers, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the route I want to take with that. Yeah, and then aside from that, the only other thing that I could think of would be like vlogging
Day in the life of a tattoo artist,
of a tattoo artist slash
musician.
this
yeah.
and that.
Yeah.
But I'm not the type of person who wants to be with my phone in my hand recording everything either at the
Yeah.
same time.
Yeah.
When I'm out and about, like I like to experience and live in the moment. I don't want to be the person taking the pictures. I don't want to be the person recording video of everything all the time. Although I love the fact that the videos be taken and stuff, you know.
Yeah.
I'm never the person who's like, I don't want to be the person who's constantly wanting to record everything. It'd be nice if somebody else did that. You know what I mean? Like, that's what videographers are for. And I'm not there enough right now to hire one. You know what I mean?
It's a very specific person and a personality who is like, yes, I need to get this on film. Like, I need to document this.
Yeah.
But you really appreciate those people, especially down the line once, you know, because it is so nice to live in the moment and like be there. But then what's also really nice
Is being able to relive it later.
exactly
100%.
and seeing that, like seeing old pictures, and this is like there's always something very nostalgic about it, which just doesn't get old.
Yeah. Word.
I do definitely enjoy these kind of conversations as a way to document. Like, this is also fun to look back on. Like, we're, you know, whatever, 5 years, 10 years.
Yeah.
We're going to look back on this conversation and
See
be
our
like,
growth and be like, wow.
wow, Kayli0n didn't even have a sewing machine yet.
Yeah.
And you're gonna have your own collection, you know?
Wow.
Like,
That part.
You know?
Yeah.
For real. That might be that right there.
And
I like
also
that.
like we're doing both right now. Like we're in this moment, like we're having a conversation,
Mm-hmm.
and like it's kind of special. Why I really like doing this is because like we're all sitting here like agreeing to like sit down and be present in this moment, in this conversation, which is really nice. But then also we are like actively documenting it, so then we'll get to watch it back either when it releases or like in the future again, and just like see what we talked about. Because like being here is really fun, but then also watching it down the line, even like a week or two after it comes out, I'll be watching it, like listening back to it, and I'll be like, oh yeah, that's right, we did talk about that. You just kind of forget, and it just brings you back.
It does mess me up where I'll be hanging out with people and they'll just start talking about something that I said like 2 episodes ago. And I'm like, wait, how do you know? Like, oh yeah, I heard you talking about them.
That's funny.
It's
you guys
funny.
should do like bring people back after like 2 years and like, hey, now that we're here, and make them rewatch it and be like, how do you feel about all this now? Like, you know?
Yeah.
Sure, come back in 2 years. Let's make a calendar date.
Yeah.
But fun fact too, the first videos we ever made together, when me and Jacob met in high school, our freshman year of high school, we both got into well, you put me on to Casey Neistat. And we were watching Casey Neistat's daily vlogs, where he would vlog his life in New York every day, and we thought it'd be fun to vlog our life every day. So it was like 30 days, I think
it was 50.
Was it
wow,
50?
50
Yeah.
days you guys vlogged your day
Where we vlogged our day to day, which we're freshmen in high school, so it's like
and like edited them and stuff. Like
Yup.
the were you guys using cameras or your phones?
Phones.
So you guys use like iMovie or something like that? Like
He was
I was
editing
on
primarily.
Windows Movie Maker.
Yeah.
nice.
But yeah, it was just like videos we took in class or whatever we did after school, or just like Snapchats we would take throughout the day. We used to have this
cute.
game where we would draw a crosshair on Snapchat, and the first person to snipe the other one gets like a point for the day.
Yeah.
Wow. That's fun.
But it is tough though. It's tough to be out living your life and be holding out a camera.
Mm-hmm.
And it affects the interaction you're having. You know, like even just having a camera on you, I feel like you can't interact with people
As intimately
yeah,
sometimes.
Yeah.
It takes energy to think about, for sure. It's like, and then once you put the camera, even if you just like set the camera up and you just like let it go, like in the back of your mind,
It has
you're like,
presence.
you're like, I'm being recorded right now. Like there's a camera and it's running.
Yeah.
Either it's like it's there, or you're like, oh, I gotta like stop because I'm gonna run out of storage or something like that. It's just like whatever pops up.
Yeah.
But it was a fun time. So yeah, that was 10 years ago. So in March of next year,
You guys gotta run that back.
we're gonna hit the 10-year anniversary of the Changhoff brand, whatever this is.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you.
You guys gotta do a 10-year video for sure.
Yeah.
10 years of
Talk about
Changhoff.
having a party.
Yeah. Changhoff party.
Changhoff.
Changhoff party.
But yeah, now how far are we into the podcast? It's like five months.
Yeah, so this is episode 26, and we
26.
took a month off. So
6 months.
yeah.
Wow. And how long are the podcasts usually?
They started short, like 30 minutes, but now they're starting to run like an hour and a half.
Wow.
Like an hour. This is. I think we're going on like.
Yeah, we're
Well, it's not edited yet, so it's hard to tell.
mhm.
Okay.
But right now we're at an hour 22.
Okay.
So
Shit, I'm
This is-
all for it.
this is pretty
This
typical,
is great.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm loving it.
this has been a great conversation.
I'm glad.
I want to ask some deep stuff.
Let's do it.
You want to do that?
Okay.
Okay, so I was scrolling through your Instagram, doing some research, getting prepared for this episode, and there was one like caption that you had, and you were speaking a lot about like positivity, gratitude, manifestation, and just like taking action for your life. So you've done a lot of stuff, and you've learned a lot of stuff, and so where do these traits like feed into your life, and how do you feel like they've affected it? And have you had like different eras of your life where you kind of had to like build up to it, or have you always been kind of like a go-getter, like positive mindset person?
I'd like to think I've always been kind of a positive go-getter mindset person, because like, I mean, I guess we all have our rainy days, right? But like, I don't really like to stay in that for too long, because I'm a firm believer, like, the longer you sit in that, the worse it gets, right? And also just in knowing science to a degree, I know that, you know, it's all about perception. Everything is all perception. You create your reality by just changing, by having a perception of it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's tough though, because there's always like things that make it hard, obstacles. It's like, damn, it's really, you know, things like heartbreak, you know, is a big one that will knock you off that rational, you know, and everything is, you know, so dramatic. I don't know how to explain it, but you still you come back. You come back. You know what I mean? You come back around, and just always trying to ground myself as best as I can. Just knowing like, hey, life goes on. Have a goal, having something that I'm working towards. You know, there are some people that don't have goals and dreams. You know, I realized that at some point in my life through losing somebody who didn't see a future for themselves, and I didn't understand what that meant when they told me that exactly. But now I realize like some people just don't have nothing. They don't have motivation because they just don't, and it's hard for them like to create that for themselves. That's what keeps me going, like having something that I want for myself, seeing better for myself, being confident. You know, these days people call that shit narcissism. Like, why? I really like myself and I'm proud of what I do. So what that makes me a what for? Like, what? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you should be proud of yourself. You should think of like your accomplishments and be proud. You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe that's too strong a statement. I feel like when I say stuff like that, people be like,
well, like, you're the only person that can be proud of yourself, though. So sometimes you have, like, people can be proud of you, but they can't be proud for you. Like, you have to build that in within yourself.
yeah.
Yeah, I think that's just confidence. That's like self-assuredness.
Yeah. It's just what keeps me going. It's just what keeps me always looking at what is it exactly that I want to do and how can I get there for real. Like, you know, and I'm happy about it. It's all about the journey. I'm excited for all the experiences, you know. When something hurts and then I get through it, I'm proud of myself. I feel like, damn, I'm super stronger than I thought. I'm tougher than I give myself credit for, you know. One thing I this is great when I bring tattooing back into the conversation and say every time I get a tattoo and it hurts really fucking bad and then I'm done with it, I feel like that bitch. I'm like, yo, I cannot die. I cannot fucking die. Literally. And it's the same thing. It's the same thing when life hurts, when shit happens and stuff. And then you remember, like, I'm still alive. I'm still breathing. We can get out of it, you know. Then you're like, yeah, I made it. And you feel stronger. You know, I don't know. That's just how things have worked for me. I guess I know that reality is not the same for everybody, but.
Yeah, I relate a lot. And especially when you said, like, oh, some people call that like that self-assuredness, the confidence that you have, like narcissism. I can see why people think that coming from a person who didn't have that at one point in my life, where it's like
Real.
When you don't really understand or that have that confidence in yourself and you only see really like the flaws, or the flaws are really top of mind, it's really hard to say how anyone could believe in themselves as such. And so going through my life and the trials and tribulations, right, I used to be like a really big I don't know exactly the word, the ruminator, I guess is the first one that comes up to it. So just like you said, like when you sit with those bad times, the longer you sit in it, the worse it gets. Right. And part of me like that for a while, because like I could feel something, you know, because on the other side, then I was in that same boat where it's like I didn't really have dreams or goals or anything. So it's like if I'm not here feeling something, then I'm lost. Yeah. And I'm not feeling anything. Like at least I'm feeling something right now. But as I've grown up and matured and gone through my trials and tribulations and like gain that confidence and that self-assuredness and be like proud of the things that I'm doing, like this and the person that I've become, it's been, yeah, it's really fun to like see that journey and know that life is about seasons. And like when things are really good, to really enjoy them, and when things are bad, just know that like look at all those other bad times that we've been through and that you've made it out the other side. Exactly. Not only if you made it out alive, but you also made it out better because you learned something, or at least you hope you learned something from those times. So yeah, really embracing just the seasons of life and how we're really just in this bitch.
Hell yeah, we really just in this bitch, gang.
There's a thing too of like people romanticizing that ruminating and like,
yeah,
you know, you're like out and it's raining and you're sad and there's
To
definitely
a degree, like when you're doing it as an art, like
Yeah.
cool, but like as your whole personality being sad, I can't get with that. Like, you know, like
Yeah, there's definitely something about just experiencing the fullness of all your emotions, and like don't avoid it, don't suppress it. But at some point, like you go inside and dry off and like do what you gotta do.
real.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You got to get back to work.
I've been there. I've been on a swing set in the rain.
Been
It's a
there.
vibe. It's
It's a vibe. Listen, I have my sad girl moments too.
Yeah.
Like in the fucking Confess video, I'm crying in the shower. Like, but like, yeah, it's just, I don't know, smile more. That's it. That's all I could really say. When you catch yourself like, find something to smile about. Dig it up. Dig something up to smile about and smile about it. That's it. And it changes things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Gratitude. That's really what that is. That's
Mhm.
called gratitude, right? Like,
Can I share a meditation technique I love?
Yeah.
There's a
Sure,
whole,
please
there's a whole
do.
book about it. Thich Nhat Hanh wrote, and basically, the foundation of like Zen practice is just inhaling, exhaling, and usually you count 1 to 10, and then go back to 1, and then back to 10. But he has this idea of in the inhale, you can do this too. In the inhale, relax your body as much as possible. So maybe like 3-4 second inhale. And just relax all your muscles as much as you can. And then on the exhale, just feel like a little subtle inner smile. Not
I was already smiling.
not a
before.
forceful smile, but just like the one that's already there when you relax your face.
Yeah.
And it's just that practice of just relaxing those muscles on the inhale, and then exhale, just like coming back to that.
Yeah.
So that's what that's from.
A black proverb. Fix your face. That ass though is a life change. That shit is real. That's what that was basically like.
It's more condensed too. Like, it's just,
It's crazy what a deep breath can do for you. Like,
yeah.
just take a breath. Like, sometimes people need to hear that.
It changes a lot. That helps a lot. Doing that before something nerve wracking, or when you catch yourself ruminating,
yeah.
or grieving, or anything. You know, even when you excited, I be getting hella worked up sometimes. I be too hyped, and sometimes I be like, let me sit my ass down. You know.
Yeah, just settle back
Breathing.
into the moment.
Facts. All that.
Yeah. That also reminds me of something that really like helped me change my perspective of a lot of things, because I went through a period of time where I just like felt like I was super anxious all the time. And I was like, what's wrong? You know, what am I so anxious about? But then I heard someone say that anxiety and excitement are the same emotion, just depending on how you look at it.
That's real.
And so now whenever I catch myself like, you know, having that little like thing in my chest, and I'm like kind of like anxious about something, I'm like, am I anxious about this or am I excited about this?
Right.
And most of the time it's nice to just choose to be excited about it.
Exactly. But at the same time too, you gotta also know when that anxious feeling should not be ignored. That intuition sometimes, because sometimes you be feeling funny and it be like, nah, you supposed to be feeling funny. There's something funny happening.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's real too. So all that is just practice, and not even practice, but just going through life, you know, trying to decipher what is going on, and you know,
Just having that intuition.
yeah, being able to decide like, is this a reasonable feeling, or like, am I tripping, you know?
Yeah. Or like you feel a certain way and you think it's because of something, and then you realize, oh, it was actually this other thing.
Yeah.
Like, why do I feel that way? Like, why am I sad? Is it because of something, or is it just me? Am I just being sad right now?
Or like directing, like thinking that you're sad because of this, because you don't want to be sad about that, but really you're sad about that.
Oh, really? You're sad about that?
Really, you're sad about
And
that,
you're
but you don't want to
avoiding-
accept
yeah.
that you're really sad about that.
You're
You
like-
want to like, I'm like really not trying to be like that. That can't be it.
You're choosing like the more comfortable sadness.
Yeah, like I'd rather be sad at you. Like,
Yeah. It's like a, yeah. Dang.
That was great.
that's good.
I feel like that's a great place to end it.
Yeah. Great conversation. What else?
Anything you want to say that you didn't get a chance to?
Man, I I just want to say thank you guys, Chang Hoff. You guys are cool as fuck. Like, you guys are cool as fuck. I'm gonna watch all the other videos you guys have like put out and stuff like that. You guys did a great job. Also, you know, having your questions and the song we just did, that was fun. I had a great time already here. I'm gonna light this back up.
Yeah.
All
All right.
right. You
All
know what
right.
I'm saying? Shit. And we can talk some more about some books. I'd love to off air chat with you guys some more.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
where the real conversation
Yeah.
happens.
Thank you. I'm glad you had a great time.
Yes.
I'm glad that.
I'm looking forward to hanging out with you
Yeah.
guys more in the future.
Yeah, we'll make
Yeah,
some more music
absolutely.
too.
The
Like,
other
come back and
things.
chat whenever.
Yeah, and especially now that we know that you're so close to the studio.
Yeah. Very nearby, for sure.
We're not telling you where the studio is. Don't try
No,
to
these people know us.
don't try to figure it out. Yeah, you're right. They do know. But anyway, this is a great conversation. Thank you so much for coming on. Please shout out yourself.
Yeah.
What's up, you guys? I'm Kayli0n. Some of you guys know me as Tattoo Sumi. Thank you guys if you've listened to this whole thing and I didn't chat your ears off. Shout out to you. You a real one. Shout out to everybody who, you know, listens to the stuff, supports, has gotten tattooed, checks out the tattoo page even if you're not into tattoos. And I'm grateful for everything, for these guys, for everybody, for you, and for you, and for God. And we here again.
Yeah. Drop your ats and spell them out.
Kayli0n. That's at Kayli0n. Like Kayli0n. Some people think it's Kayli0n. Kayli0n. It's not. It's Kayli0n. And if you want to check out the tattoo stuff, my tattoo profile is T-A-T, the number 2, Sumi. Tattoo Sumi.
Like lawsuit?
SUMI.
Yeah, but don't actually sue me yet until I got that Kanye West money. Then try me, bitch. Period. Mic drop.
Mic
Boom.
drop.
Mic drop.
That was great.
You're